The last dead line was the previous PLE. Let's see if this one improves on it. I'm Chris Wolvie, the wrestling vlog, who always tells it like it is. The women's matches were sloppy, the men's were uninspiring, and to top it all off, it was all too predictable. They better step it up in Saudi Arabia. Remember that their leader has extreme ways of reacting to people that displease him. Allegedly. Anyway, on to NXT's version of Survivor Series. Well, actually it's a bit more of a Royal Rumble and some Elimination Chamber, Sans Cage, and it's essentially based on the championship scramble they came up with in the mid-aughts, and Alright. It's really not like Survivor Series at all, but it is a match that's grown on me over the years. And having it in Shawn Michaels' backyard is a nice touch, so... Now, much like last week's PLE, the emphasis will be on the Iron Survivor challenges to decide who gets a title shot in the Performance Center in the new year. But considering that it will take 25 minutes to have the whole match instead of just starting the match proper, like War Games, that's a plus in and of itself. Then you have 2 title matches and a grudge match between a broken woman and the team that broke her as filler. I'd say that's a decent card for PLE, even one on Peacock. Pardon. So let's end this year's PLE schedule with a bang that can be heard from the Alamo. Here are my predictions for NXT Deadline 2025. Now, as they say it's the first match of the night, we might as well pick it first. NXT Championship rematch. Ricky Saints versus Obafemi. Winner to face Cody Rhodes on Saturday night's main event. And have it ruined by Drew McIntyre, no doubt. Look, I couldn't have been the only one who thought tonight's Iron Survivor winner would be the one to end Femi's reign of terror. But then again, given the people John Cena picked, there was a possibility Femi wouldn't have lost. Gotta admit though that Saints did what he said he would when he came in from WWE, and the fact that it was against Femi that he did it, most impressive. Will history repeat itself? Well, as dominating as Femi may be, I think he needs time away from a belt before he wins another. It'll be rough, just like last time, but the winner and still champ is Ricky Saints. North American Championship, Ethan Page versus Mr. Iguana. Again, I would so love for Mr. I to win any match in NXT to give AAA a little more credit in the wide world of wrestling. He's following in the footsteps of Santino Marella and his Cobra, Mick Foley and Sacco, hell, technically even Perry Saturn and Moppy, but it seems to me that the only reason WWE bought up AAA was to show that it's absolutely inferior to NXT. Terrible thing to happen to the company that gave us Rey Mysterio and Eddie Guerrero. Way to stomp on their heritage, guys. Now, I'm not saying it's going to be a clean victory. I can certainly see Chelsea Green and or Alba Fire getting involved. Or worse, a simple handful of tights will do in a pinch. But no AAA superstar will ever hold an NXT belt. Although it seems fine the other way around, I guess. Winner and still champ, Ethan Page. Tatum Paxley versus Izzy Dame. Why would Dame and the Culling turn on Paxley just because she wanted to be a fighting women's champion? I mean, now the Fatal Influence has it back. Good frickin' luck to Dame getting it. It's always obvious that a heel squad doesn't want to defend their titles in case, you know, their best laid plans turn for the worse and they lose the titles. But the Culling couldn't have made it more obvious. They were all but telling Paxley not to put the title up, but since she ignored them, they kicked her out. And now she's a shell of a woman with no one to rely on. And that makes her dangerous. Well, not that she'll win. Some people who lose their way don't do well against some with actual strategies. Paxley will jump in there with arms flailing, but eventually Dame's calm demeanor will triumph. Winner is Izzy Dame. Women's Iron Survivor Challenge. Winner to face Jacy Jayne for the NXT Women's title at New Year's Evil. 2-star with another thrown in every 5 minutes. Pinner submission earns a point, and the one who lost the fall gets a penalty visit for 90 seconds. Most points after 25 minutes wins. The one thing about this group is that, well, there doesn't seem to be any true allies who can gang up on the others. So Aruka won't have Zarya to help her, nor Kendall Gray anyone from Evolved. And Lola Vice, Kalani Jordan, and Jordan Grace have more or less been lone she-wolves for the last half a year. They're all going to be after each other, knives out and beaks bloody, which makes picking a winner tough. They're all deserving a title shot. Well, except Grace. She needs to graduate from Evolve first. I would like it to be Ruka, but she's still tied to Zarya, it seems. Jordan, being TNA KO's champ, is still too fresh. So I will say Lola Vice is a primary pick, and Jordan Grace is a secondary for half a point. Finally, Men's Iron Survivor Challenge. Winner to challenge for the NXT Championship in New Year's Evil. This one is a bit easier to predict. Not much easier, mind you, but still easy. Leon Slater, TNA, won't win, especially since he and Javon Evans are having a falling out over why Slater let Miles Bourne get the pin and the advantage. Their friendship just might end in this match when one pins the other out of nowhere and starts the grudge. And while I do believe in Joe Hendry, he only recently signed on to the NXT from TNA. He needs just a little more polish, and maybe the North American title, before going after the big one. Which leaves the other two who do seem to deserve it more. Though the only way Dion Lennox will win the title is with Dark State's help, and who knows if I will allow that. Miles Bourne is willing to prove his handicap won't slow him down, though he did lose to Femi some months ago in a title match, so... As the champ will be a face regardless, I will pick Dion Lennox as a primary and Miles Bourne as a secondary. Those are my picks. And for once I'm actively praying I don't go 5 for 5, because that means, well, you know. I'm Chris Wolvie, the Wrestling Blog, who always tells it like it is. Pray for peace, and I'll see you